Next up, coming to us from Spring, Texas, with one of the best dressed men
Hey,
in the
Hey, how
Houston
you guys?
area. Rico Davis, ladies and gentlemen. Rico Davis. Rico, tell him your AC number.
AC04.
AC04, ladies and gentlemen. If you want Rico in, you have to vote him in AC04. Rico, tell the people who you are. What should they know about you?
Rico Davis, man, I don't even know where to start. Some people always say, dude, are you Jamaican? You got like so many different jobs. But what I can say, and the reason I feel like they should vote for me is because I believe that if I can teach financial literacy today, it will create independent leaders for tomorrow. And that's our future. Several things about me. I can probably start as early as the childhood. I grew up by a single mom. I lost my mom at 16 years old, and it was probably due to malpractice that was covered up. So at that moment, it was just me and my sister. I'm 16 years old, my sister 19 years old with two kids, and we raised ourselves. I'm the only male in my family that went to college. I am the only male in my entire family that went to college and got a degree.
What?
So I look at this wall because it reminds me of seeing my two degrees up there. This is someone that came from the hood. And, you know, I live in a hood where we didn't have to lock the doors because it wasn't nothing for somebody to steal anyway. So I have to use all those things as motivation. I lived a fast life because at that time, I had to take care of me and my sister. My sister did the best she can raising her brother that was 3 years younger than her. Um, you know, almost lost my life. I've been hit by a car several times. I lost count on how many times I've been shot at. But I've been in a
oh,
coma, reconstructed my face. Doctor told me I'd never be able to use my right arm again. He said you was inches away from being paralyzed. Till this day, I still have pain in my back, but I don't let that stop me from what I'm trying to do in life because I still went off to college. And one thing about me, they used to call me the grandpapa off the team. Why? Because I was a 28-year-old freshman. I was athletic enough to play sports, but when I was 18 and 19 years old and 20 years old, I was living that fast life. I was making money. And I realized that the faster the money came, the faster it went away. So when I moved to Florida, I said, you know what? I got to make a change in my life. And I literally went and tried out for the basketball team and earned a scholarship. Not too many
mm,
people can say they just walked on and earned a scholarship. I earned a scholarship, and the coach told me he only had one scholarship left, and he needed me to play against his assistant coach. I'm 28 years old. His assistant coach is 27 years old. I grind him up because I had a mission that it didn't matter. Nobody was going to stop me from what I was trying to do. At 21 and 22 years old, I had my own apartment. I had my own car. I sold all my furniture. People said, why are you moving on to a dormitory? I never experienced what it felt like to be in college. So that's why I sold all my stuff. I wanted to feel what it felt like to have a college roommate. And one thing about me, I will never be able to say, I wish I did this and I wish I did that. I will always, even if I succeed or not, at least I try.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've noticed seeing a lot of older people. They live with that guilt of saying, I wish I had did this. And I wish now, even if you succeed or you don't, at least try. And that's my motto. I always say, I like to work hard for what I want, but now as I got older, I work smart.
mhm.
Um, you know, so again, just, being raised up, the rough way, but I learned how to survive. My mom, before she passed, she was a hard worker, never missed a day from her job. My
Mm-hmm.
dad, he was like a hustler. And I feel like two of those things was in me. But when I almost lost my life, I always questioned God, why am I still here?
Mm-hmm.
And the only conclusion that I can come up with is because he gave me a second chance. And now my second chance is to go back and help those individuals who doesn't have a voice. And keep in mind, I became a sports agent. And here I am sitting at the table with NFL owners, same little kid on the corner, but I'm sitting in boardrooms with NFL owners negotiating NFL contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And because of my connection, I was able to help 11 young men get a scholarship to go to college in 1 year. And
Wow.
it doesn't stop there. Last year, I literally took 5 young men who could not afford to go to prom. I bought them everything that they needed for prom, but they had to write me a one-page essay on why is it so important to give back to the community. As a matter of fact, this Thursday, I'm taking 10 young men to the movie theater. We're going bowling. It's called King for a Day, where I get a chance to, myself, along with my other Salt and Pepper Gang brothers, we get to mentor these young boys and just try to put them on the right path. And that's what we do. We go to senior citizen homes. We get every woman roses, flowers, Valentine's Day card, and balloons. I'm about giving back. I'm about educating and empowering our youth. That's why I have honorary doctorate degree in humanitarianism for all of the things I do in the community. I also have my Lifetime Achievement Award signed by Joe Biden because of all of the things that I do in the community. I go to HBCU schools, I go to elementary schools, I go to middle schools, and I talk and I educate the kids. And I'm also an author. This is my first book.
Oh, can
Look at
you?
that.
It's called First Round Draft Pick. My second book
Nice.
is SPG and Me. It's about an anti-bully book to help these kids from start bullying each other. And my last book that just came out last month is called The Turning Point, 16 Ways to Unleashing Your Full Potential. I love it when they get my book and they say, you know what? Thank you. I needed that book. There was something in that book that I needed to hear that got me to the next level. Now let's talk about financial literacy. With my
Wow.
platform, I would love that opportunity, not only to just help myself, but it's about me empowering and helping others. Every time I pray, I ask God to use me as an outlet to share my testimony while I uplift others. And I think he's been doing that for me.
Rico,
Wow.
I couldn't agree more. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. AC04, Rico Davis. If you want him to continue the path that he's on, to continue to help others, to build himself up, to increase his financial literacy so he can pass it back on to his communities, you got to vote him in. AC04, the voting is open. 855-918-6972. Rico, thank you so much for coming on tonight and sharing with us, brother.
Thank you.
Continue doing
Appreciate
what you're doing, and God bless, man. Thank you.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, have a great night. AC04,
Um,
ladies and gentlemen, Rico Davis, AC04. If you want to see him in the house, you got to vote him in. Got to vote him in. Wow, I didn't get all that in the first casting call, India. That's a lot. I got
It
to
is
step
a
my game
lot.
up, man.
I know.
I'm not doing enough. I am not doing enough, and I need to step my game
Right.
up. You got to hold me accountable, India. Hold me accountable.